Why did the creators construct a game series teeming with imperfection, screen tearing, glitches? Among those who partake in these games, they know it will be made up to them in other ways. If imperfection is part of the game design, is not imperfection then, by definition, desired? A question for the reviewers. But this game focuses rather on the characters at the center of these stories. The Nephilim, spawn of angels and demons, warriors, relentless, decent sailors, marketable, until they were betrayed by four of their own. War, death, fury, and strife. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. Inconceivable power was bestowed upon the traitors by Studio THQ to maintain symmetry twixt order and chaos. Bear witness as the Charred Council holds court to end the long wait for Darksiders 3. This is the new game. War, the first to bring people the awesomeness of the series. Death, your game was bigger, yet surprisingly a similar length, but still excellent. Strife. Yeah, we haven't had your game yet, but you have a cameo in this one and you look awesome. And finally, Fury. You are finally getting your own game. You are the—
Oi! Are we gonna get to play this game or not?
Step forward and recognize, Horseman. You are the most impatient of your kin. The least predictable, hoping that your game measures up to the others. Your brothers understood what was needed of them. But do you?
He's still talking! Death, put the kettle on while I wait for him to shut up. 2 sugars.
Fury, your role in this story is yet to be written.
Shut up!
Alright, jeez.
I don't care if I look stupid, this is Darksiders and I'm going to enjoy it, goddammit! The last game came out in 2012. 6 years ago. It feels like a bloody eternity. It feels like a lot longer than just 6 years at any rate. The original developer-publisher team went bankrupt back then. So I didn't think we were ever going to get a third game. Which is particularly bloody annoying because not only are there 4 horsemen, but there's a grand conspiracy running through the whole series. So it kind of left us not knowing what the hell happened or what Fury or Strife were like. You know, But the new developer-publisher team have taken up the Darksiders title, and a lot of the people from the original creators are now in the new team. So this game is being made by the same people.
What do they call you?
Jones.
Jones. Question me again with your last breath.
Look around. Look what's happened here. Do you honestly think anything scares me now?
Easy, lad. This one's none for trifles.
Yeah? What do I have to lose? This moronic conflict makes you all look so stupid. Angel, demon, horseman, even maker. What are you even fighting for, huh? Tell me!
I like this one. You may continue breathing, Jones.
Let's be completely honest about this game series, shall we? It's always been a little bit on the crap side, as far as quality is concerned. You know what I mean? It's always had the screen tearing, it's always had little glitches and audio issues, and as far as I'm concerned, it's just normal for Darksiders to have that nowadays. However, this game has to be definitely the glitchiest of the lot. There are some massive bloody glitches here. And the game, in case you're not aware, is really bloody hard. Fury has a whip as her main weapon. In addition to that, she gains 4 secondary weapons that deal elemental damage. She has wrath attacks, which alter their form depending on which weapon she has to the fore. And then she has her ultimate havoc form, where she becomes nigh on invincible and lays waste to anything nearby. Despite the fact that the combat is simple, you just mash on a button, or you can delay the next button press, or press and hold the button to execute different types of combos. Despite the fact that the combat is simple, it's amazingly hard. You've got no block. You're totally reliant on your dodge. The dodge window is, in my opinion, wider than it was with Death in Darksiders 2. It was really hard to dodge and set up a counter-attack. It's comparatively easy here. But even so, you can drop dead alarmingly quickly. Some enemies can kill you in as little as 2 hits. You earn souls for killing enemies, and the souls go into your bank balance, and you can go to Volgrim, who's the shopkeeper. Thankfully he makes a return, and you can buy items from him. Now, if you buy a consumable item from Volgrim, the price of the next item increases, regardless of how many of the item you have or have used. And in that sense, it's a bit like Devil May Cry. It's an irritating mechanic because for me, it discourages me from buying the consumables. Because I think at some point, the price is just going to keep on going up and up and up until it hits a point where I can't afford them. So why would you rely on them?
Decision.
But the main thing you'll do with your souls is purchasing a level increase from Volgrim. And this is where the game is a little bit like Soulsborne. If you need, say, 3,000 souls for the next level, this game doesn't require you to spend it all in one go. If you've only got 500, you can spend 500 towards the next level, and you can come back with the remaining 2,500 later. Just like Soulsborne as well, if you die, any soul you're carrying, you drop on the ground. And then you have to get back to that weird blue floaty thing and whack it to regain the soul. If you die en route, the soul stays there. Again, unlike Soulsborne, the game makes it a bit easier for you. You can take as many attempts as you like to get back to it, and you'll eventually recover it. In this game, Fury is said to be built like a mage. I have a bit of an issue with that statement. I can sort of see why they say that, because Fury does have elemental weapons at her disposal, and her wrath attacks can perform elemental attacks. But she doesn't have spells per se. Not in the same way that Death had. With Death, you could whack enemies, build your wrath gauge quickly, and then quickly summon a bunch of ghouls to distract the enemy or something like that while you blindsided them. You could do little tricks like that. But Fury doesn't do that. She doesn't feel like a mage. She feels like a warrior. She feels like someone who has to go toe-to-toe with the enemy, and you don't have a block, which makes it particularly difficult. The magnetic one is hilarious. It basically causes you to become this rocky, magnetic hamster ball. I like this game. I do. I really like it. But there are quite a few things missing, or should I say notable by their absence, for anyone who's played the first two games. For a start, there's no map, which in a game that is open world, in my opinion, is a major mistake, because you're not quite sure, at least at first, where you're going. And the map marker is a bit twitchy, and it doesn't always tell you precisely where you're supposed to be going because it's above or below you. Also, you don't get a pistol. Both the previous combatants, War and Death, in their games, they got one of Strife's pistols to use. There's no portal gun. I mean, wow! Death got a portal gun that could also interact with the time portals. And the biggest omission for me, though, the one that really stuck out in my mind, there's no horse. By the way, did I mention that these were the four horsemen of the apocalypse? Horsemen. The operative word being horse, in case I hadn't said it often enough. You see Fury's horse, but temporarily in a cutscene at the beginning of the game.
Rampage! Your master summons you! We ride!
And then to add insult to injury, this happens.
But I'm still not satisfied.
Quite apart from the fact that she's a horseman. Horse. Again, emphasis on the horse. In the first game, people criticised it for not giving War his horse early enough. He gets it about halfway through the game. And so in response to that, the developers put Death on his horse right at the beginning of the game. You literally start on horseback. And most of the same team worked on this game. Did they forget about that? They obviously didn't forget about the horse because Rampage is there, but... What? What? I'm kind of hung up on this because horsemen. I mean, you could argue that the game isn't really big or open enough space to use the horse, but that's just because it hasn't been designed for the horse. Horse! I'm a bit obsessed with this, sorry. Hey.
Aren't we making a mighty ruckus?
Says the demon who announces his ambush.
It was not my intention to do battle, horseman. Well, such a passionate little thing, aren't we?
Do not test my patience.
Very well. War is too hazardous an occupation for myself, horseman. I am here in the name of blind capitalism.
Uriel, the female angel from the first and second game, she's not here. Samael isn't here. He's a big character in the first game and a boss fight in the second one, albeit in a smaller part. I expected him to have at least a bit part here. Because, you know, it's Samael and he's not here. That was a bit weird. Ulthane, the maker, is here, as is Volgrim, obviously, the merchant. He's still here. So it's not all bad in any case, possibly because those other characters are missing and certain other content is missing, like the horse. They've kind of compensated by giving the 7 sins, the demons you're supposed to be hunting down. Those guys are given a surprising amount of character, considering they're not in the game that long. I mean, you find them, you have a bit of a talk, you kill them, you have a bit of a talk, and they disappear. And it's surprising how much personality they're given. Especially Sloth. I love the way that Sloth just doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit that you're fighting him. He doesn't give a shit whether you walk away. He doesn't give a shit if you kill him.
You will be judged in combat like all the others.
Darling, do I look like I'll be fighting anything or anyone anytime soon?
You have no choice.
There's always a choice, darling. I choose not to choose. Too much of a bother. I'd laugh at you, but it's too much effort.
There's some light puzzle solving as well. Well, I say light. Most of them involve going somewhere else, grabbing a sword and bringing it back, sticking it in this plinth and then whacking it with your weapon. Some of the puzzles did stump me. In fact, one of the puzzles stumped me for a full 25 minutes. It was actually a bit annoying. As I said before in the opening, this game is very glitchy. I mean, it's got the prerequisite Darksider glitches, like for example, screen tearing when you go around the corner. And of course there are frame rate drops here and there. You expect that, although this frame rate drop was so severe, it actually caused me to break my target lock. I didn't even let go of the button. You know, they're little things easy to overlook. They don't ruin the game. Except for this glitch, which I can only describe as not necessarily a glitch, but more like a total audio failure. I'm not joking. And I only discovered that it was a console audio failure when I switched the game off to restart it. The game had crashed the console's audio. I had to turn the console off and back on again to clear it.
Mansk. Oh, there Adorable! In what realm is this considered adorable? Another one of your adorables.
I'm never letting that one down, am I?
On the contrary, it may prove useful.
As I've said, as a fan of this series, I come for the story and the characters primarily. The combat is good, more or less, and the the quality of the game is somewhat lacking again. It's a bit on the crap side. But that's why I come, as well as for the conspiracy, because I still want to know what happens. And yes, for fans, there is a post-credit sequence at the end, as always.
As for who? Know this. I was merely a pawn. A feeling you know all too well. Fury. The angels who killed your steed. Pawns as well.
Then who? Tell me!
The players in that game will reveal themselves in time.
Well, and the epic boss fights as well, of course. That's another reason to show up. And once you've finished the game, that's it. There's no extras, there's no new game plus. It's about 17 hours long. Once you've played through the main storyline, that's it. There's no side objectives or anything like that. In that sense, it's much more like the first Darksiders than the second. But given the fact that there are... fans will certainly notice that things are missing. Even if you're not a fan, you'll notice that there's no map. Which means that you can't even really go relic hunting into the corners of the areas, because you don't really know where the corners are because you can't see them on the map. It's infuriating, and I'll never get over the... Why is there no horse? Why is there no horse? Where is the horse? Is the horse here? No. I looked. There's no horse. Why? I know he's in a cutscene, but that's not the same thing as playable. Why is there no horse? I will never get over that. Ugh. Anyway, just be aware that this game is very hard. There are perhaps some things missing, and you've got to be used to the glitchy nature of the game. In that sense, it's a bit of a hard recommend if you're not already a fan. If you're a fan of Darksiders, you probably already have this game like me. I wouldn't have... I like this game. It's just not particularly good. It's a bit disappointing, I'll be honest. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I would have given the previous games, I think, maybe a 7. This is a 6, though. Because it's more twitchy, it's more glitchy than usual. And there's no horse! Ugh. It's just, I question some of the design decisions that they've made, and it could have done with a little bit more time to cook. That's my feeling on Darksiders 3, but I love it, and I wouldn't have missed it for anything. I'm very glad that I bought it and played it. I don't even care that it was 50 quid, to be honest. I'm a bit of a sucker for it. I know, I'm a bit of a sucker. But maybe if you're not used to the franchise, start with the first game, because in my opinion that is the best one. The second game is a very close second. This is a bit of a distant third, so start at the beginning if you're not already a fan. That's my recommendation, or wait until a price drop, because at 50 quid it's a bit of a hard ask at that price. Okay, That's it for this review. Darksiders 3, 6 out of 10, above average. Little bit of a disappointment for me as a fan, but I wouldn't have missed it for anything. I think I'm more excited. I think I was more excited for this game than any other game this year, weirdly. Okay, so what did you think of my review? Leave a like or dislike. What did you think of the game? Or have I terrified you out of a purchase now? Fair enough. Leave a comment down below. If you can't get enough of my dulcet tones, hit the subscribe button, or if you want to inflict my irritating character on other people, you can always share. See you next time. I'm gonna find the bloody horse. Alright, starting again because my bloody camera can't make up its mind what it wants to do. Keeps on changing the what's it called, the exposure setting on me. It's really annoying. It makes green screen a nightmare because the green keeps on changing shade. Spells and fancy tricks to help him out. Damn. I need a drink. My throat's starting to go. War and Death in their games got one of Strife's pistols to use. Fury doesn't. Another thing that's missing? I've forgotten. The portal gun. For the most part, head on. Death was built like a ninja. I've got a hair in my mouth. Damn. That was nasty. Okay, so maybe the fringe doesn't always work.